So we were discussing convergence and solo growth model. We have already talked about the meaning of convergence. If you remember, we have derived the key equation of solo model earlier also. So this is k curl dot is syk curl minus n plus delta plus g k curl. I can divide both the sides by k curl. So it is k curl dot by k curl syk curl upon k curl minus n plus g plus delta. What is k curl dot by k curl? That is the growth rate in k curl, right? Achha, what is this? K curl to the power alpha upon k curl. So I'm not repeating all of this again, beta, but I just want to show you. This is what we have already done, right? So it's nothing new. Here we have talked about these things. You remember this guy? So you started with the key equation, you divided both the sides by k, you got k dot by k, all this. So we are talking about the same thing out here as well. And we'll be reaching to this diagram again. But right now we are just writing all of this in the context of convergence. That's what we are trying to do out here. So I hope you remember that the production function in the intensive form, we are writing it this way. So we are assuming the same production function. Capital Y is equal to capital K to the power alpha into L to the power 1 minus alpha. And when you write this in the intensive form, it becomes small y curl is equal to small k curl to the power alpha minus n plus g plus delta. K curl dot by k curl. And here you have k curl dot by k curl as S, and when I say k, I mean small k out here, to the power alpha minus 1 minus n plus g plus delta. Acha, remember one thing. When you say small y k curl, small y curl upon small k curl, that would mean what? The average product. Why? Because this is what? Capital Y upon L on capital K upon L, right? That is nothing but the average product of capital. And this is nothing but the average product of capital. One thing. Second thing, as K curl is rising, that is as capital labor ratio rise, but capital is subject to the diminishing returns. No, so this average product is going to fall. So this small yk curl upon small y curl upon small k curl is nothing but the average product of capital, and that is nothing but small k curl to the power alpha minus 1 at this point. In particular, capital K to the power alpha minus 1 declines as K curl rises because of the diminishing returns to capital accumulation in neoclassical model. in neoclassical model. One thing. Okay. How is all this related to convergence? Wait, this is what you have said, na? As your small k curl is increasing, this guy is going to fall, na? S into k curl to the power alpha minus 1. This is going to fall. This is falling, 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 falling. Like this. For the reason I've just told you. This term is independent of k curl. So this is just like this. This is just like this. Okay. So at this particular point, there is a steady state. Steady state means here the growth rate in capital per worker is 0. You can call this as k curl star. You can call this as k curl star. Fair enough. Now suppose that there are two economies. One economy is starting with the lower capital per labor. Call this as poor economy. So what is the growth rate, beta? Growth rate is the difference between the two terms, these two terms. Hai na? So this difference is the growth rate of the poor economy. Fair enough. Okay. Let us say there is another economy which is starting with the higher capital labor ratio. Rich economy. Huh? Again, growth rate is a difference between these two terms. So what is the difference here for the higher, for the this economy? Your rich economy, this much. So this is the growth rate of poor economy. This guy is the growth rate of rich economy. Both of them are converging towards this point, steady state. Both of them are converging towards the steady state. So if both the economies, they have the same technology, right? They have the same investment rate, they have the same savings rate, they have the same rates of population growth, means the parameters are same. So what will happen is that the poor economy will grow faster as compared to the rich economy, right? So output per worker gap between the poor and the rich economy will become narrower and narrower as you move on, right? And both the economies, they will approach towards the same steady state. But the assumption is that both economies have same savings rate, same technology, same population growth rate, same investment rate, all of that. So the initial conditions are same. The only thing which is different is that they are starting with a different level of the capital labor ratio. That's it, right? So among the countries that have the similar initial conditions, or you can say that among the countries that have the same steady state, the convergence hypothesis will hold. Poor countries will catch up with the rich countries. Among the countries which have similar steady states, the convergence hypothesis is holding, that poor countries are converging towards rich countries and they're converging towards the same steady state, right? That's an idea. So this is the important prediction of important prediction of Solow model. Please write this, and I want, if possible, please write this in your answer also. Among countries that have the same steady state, the convergence hypothesis should hold. That is, poor countries should grow faster on average than rich countries. On average than rich countries. Right. And this is a very reasonable assumption as far as industrialized nations are concerned. They have almost the similar population growth rate, similar savings rate, similar technology level. So for industrialized countries, yes, the convergence hypothesis is going to hold, right? So neoclassical model is going to predict that the convergence is going to be this, right? But if you're going to look for all the countries of the world together, then the convergence hypothesis is not going to hold, because you cannot just compare industrialized nations as compared to least developed countries, right? They don't have same set of technology. They don't have the same savings rate. They don't have the same population growth rate. So you can't say that all of them are going to converge towards the same steady state. No, right? So the differences in one more thing is that there can be the differences in the income levels, which is going to have the impact on the steady state levels also. So it can result in the different steady states as well. So please write this thing. The differences in income levels around the world the differences in income levels around the world largely reflect the differences in steady states. So because all countries, they do not have the same investment rate, all countries do not have the same population growth rate, all countries do not have the same savings rate, same technology levels, so you cannot expect that all countries will converge toward the same steady state. Here convergence hypothesis is not going to hold, right? So please write, because all countries do not have the same investment rate, population growth rates, technology levels, they are not generally expected to grow towards the same steady state target. The same steady state target, right? Acha, this is one prediction of the Solow model. The another prediction of the Solow model. Another prediction. Another prediction is what, bhai? If the economy is far below the steady state level, the higher is going to be the growth rate of that economy, right? The faster economy is going to grow. While the further economy is above the steady state level, the slower economy should, right? That is also one thing. Please write this. The further economy is below its steady state, the faster the economy should grow. The further an economy is above the steady state, the slower economy should grow, right? The slower economy should grow. So these are the two main predictions of the Solow model. And this is what your convergence hypothesis is. So the unconditional convergence is whatever be your level of steady state, whatever be the level of population growth rate, investment rate, savings rate, all economies will converge towards a steady state, right? Conditional convergence, and this is not supported by data. Unconditional convergence is not supported by data. You have seen this. I've given you the examples yesterday also in terms of a diagram. Conditional convergence is somewhat supported by data. That is an example of the industrialized nation. So you, instead of looking at all the countries together, if you look at the subset of countries, the countries which have the similar savings rate, similar population growth rate, similar technology levels, they tend to, in among those countries, the poorer countries will converge towards the rich countries. That's an idea. So that is the meaning of unconditional and the conditional convergence, right? Okay, beta. So this is what I wanted to do in this class. Thank you. So more or less, I think by this recording, I have completed mostly what I have to do in the Solow model. So I'll pick up something new in the next class. Thank you, beta.